As Indians continue to battle long appointment queues, new visa rules are coming into place. These rules will grant Indians a 2-year multiple entry Schengen visa to Europe, and that is just sweet poetry for all those Indians out there who are planning their next Europe vacation and have been cribbing and complaining about the way Schengen visas have been dished out recently. Kartik, I mean, in the recent past, especially in the post-pandemic world, Schengen visas were being given, after going through all the documentation process and paying for, the fee and everything, you got a 30-day Schengen visa. Sometimes even less than that, a 3-week Schengen visa, which means that and multiple entry they used to call it, which means that how many
times are you going to travel?
Yeah, you got to travel to Europe. So, it just seemed extremely ridiculous that they would even do that. But this will certainly change the game. And also, this is meant as a way to promote the India and EU relations.
You're right, but this also comes with its own caveats, and it's called a Cascade Scheme. Primarily, what this multiple entry 2-year visa entails is that you should have, as an individual traveler, traveled to Europe at least twice in the last 3 years. If you've taken 2 valid trips to the European Union, the 29 countries which make up the Schengen visa, then you should have at least taken 2 trips in the last 3 years to be eligible for this 2-year multiple entry visa. The next sort of logical step from here is, if you have once been issued this 2-year multiple entry visa, then you would be eligible to also apply for the 5-year multiple entry visa. But, and there's a big but, the problem is that the queues and the waiting time to get appointments for a visa to any of the European countries has not reduced in the last 3 years. And even in the post-pandemic world, ever since the flights reopened and you were able to travel more freely anywhere in the world, including Europe, you haven't yet been able to come out of the pandemic cast shadow on long waiting queues and appointment time. And that is something which has to be, cleared and sorted out before you can start offering these visas in the first place.
Right, especially for all those prime travel destinations in Europe, say France and Italy and all those countries where most Indians go to. That's where the queues are get longer.
Absolutely.
And there's been absolutely no respite. It's difficult to get an appointment if you apply online, to get an appointment. But the only hope is that with this as a beginning point, that we can maybe look forward to more and more relaxations and more enablement of Indians to be able to travel to Europe.
Absolutely right. So I think once you get this 2-year visa, then you're not standing in the queue for the next 2 years. So that is given. That should hopefully reduce the waiting time for others.